Michigan at the 41. What a hit! Ball's free, on the ground. South Carolina deserves to have it.
Seth Rollins just curb stomped Randy Orton.
And with that curb stomp, the future is now.
All right, how's everybody doing today? This is the 5-Star Podcast, and I'm Nathan Little with my man, Anthony Bersalia. How you doing, Anthony?
Doing great, Nathan. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. We're here to talk a little bit about a couple events coming up this weekend. A big weekend for wrestling. We got NXT TakeOver on Saturday, and then we've got
SummerSlam Sunday night, which is a 4-hour live event this year.
All right, and we are going to talk a little bit about each of those. We're going to give you each match the rundown, predictions, and maybe book a little bit. We'll tell you how the real brains would do it, how the real brains would book this stuff. That's what I tell myself every morning when I wake up anyway. And then, of course, we've got a big announcement for next week's podcast. Stick around for that. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about NXT TakeOver. Several big matches on the card. The tag match, I know, Anthony, those are you boys.
Blake and Murphy.
Blake and Murphy versus the Vaudevillains. What do you think is going to happen?
I believe that Murphy and Blake, they retain.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Maybe Alexa Bliss gets in there a little bit, mixes things up.
You never. The Vaudevillains are cool. I don't think they can hold the belts though. I don't think. And really, you've got two heels going at it. So, I mean, do they continue a heel feud? I think Blake and Murphy retain, and we see them move on a little bit. We've got your woman Sasha Banks,
the boss,
taking on my girl Bayley, and I think Bayley wins it. I think she wins it. Sasha Banks moves on full time to WWE, and she just leaves NXT behind.
It's her time. She's beat Charlotte. She's beat Becky Lynch. Some of these other girls that've just been we're seeing now on the main roster on WWE Monday Night Raw. And so I agree with you. Bayley wins this one.
And then you've got the NXT title match with Finn Balor and Kevin Owens, my man Kevin Owens. And as much as I hate to say it, I think Kevin Owens does not win the title. Balor keeps it.
I agree. I don't know if it's going to be as great a match as when Owens. I know him as Kevin Steen, but when him and El Generico, which is Sami Zayn now, I don't know if the match will be as classic as some of their later matches during ROH, but who knows? Finn Balor's been a heck of a talent. He's really impressed me. I think we're in for a great match, and I think at the end, Balor struggles to get the belt, but he pulls it down. And then finally, a match that kind of came out of nowhere was Tyler Breeze versus, you're hearing this right, Jushin Thunder Liger. He's risen from the dead almost, but I mean he's still wrestling out there, and he's still wrestling regularly. Yeah.
But he's coming in with his WWE debut, and I think he wins.
I agree. Amazing that this wrestler has not been in the WWE yet. Of course, he was in WCW. He's done some TNA appearances as well as Ring of Honor. But for this to be his first WWE match, I think he, at his age, impresses the NXT universe.
Absolutely. And that is our quick rundown of NXT TakeOver. And now we're going to move on to SummerSlam, because that's what you guys want to talk about. And the first match is the one with the literal star power. The first one we're talking about anyway. And it's a match that it started the whole feud at WrestleMania between Stephen Amell and Stardust, and now it's kind of evolved. Amell is teaming with Neville, Stardust is with King Barrett, and where do you see it going, Anthony?
Very rare, Nathan, do we see in the professional wrestling business when an actor gets involved that they lose a match. I see this match going to Neville and Amell. I think they win the match. Will it be clean? I think I'll go on a limb and say Amell gets the pinfall, and I think he will pin Stardust.
That's basically what I'm thinking, and you're right. You know, you don't bring in a star and let them lose unless they somehow think that they can get Stephen Amell to do 3 matches and then win the next. I think they win. And to be honest, this is one of the more boring matches on the card for me. I'm not. A lot of people are hyped for it. Maybe you're an Arrow fan. I'm having a hard time getting excited. And if I start late, hopefully this is the first match.
Yeah, you hope this match isn't the opener.
But another match that I'm not really excited about, but I'm, I know you're definitely not excited about it. But I'll watch it. Orton versus Sheamus. Sheamus has got the Money in the Bank briefcase, packing it around, tried to cash it in week before last,
and the ref stopped him.
And basically didn't work out for him. But maybe do we see a cash in?
Ooh, that's a good question.
On Sunday, do we see a cash in?
There are two theories, I think, going into this. If you have Sheamus beat Orton, which I think happens, then I see no cash in. But I think if if Sheamus loses to Orton, I think we see the idea, because if you think of 2013, you think of 2011 with CM Punk and then Daniel Bryan 2013, we've seen the briefcase be cashed in at SummerSlam. So I believe if Sheamus loses, we have a very good chance of seeing that happening.
And that's what I think. I think really the only way Orton wins is a cash in my opinion, because I don't see what they're, if you're trying to build Sheamus to be a contender and you're trying to flaunt that briefcase, I don't think you let Orton win the match unless you want to surprise him later on in the night with the cash in.
Exactly.
And you never know. This could be the week, but I think Sheamus wins and no cash.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Nate.
And my man Kevin Owens, back-to-back nights will be Saturday. He'll be on NXT, and then Sunday he's going to be on SummerSlam against Cesaro, and they're two really good workers. It's going to be a good match. And really, I don't even know who's going to win, and I'm going to decide after you make your pick. So what do you think?
Because I'm definitely interested to hear your pick on this. Here's the deal. Both guys are in a position to where neither one of them needs a loss. And you think of the way it's been built, you look at the momentum Owens had with Cena, that's kind of been let down a little bit, but we've seen the amazing matches on Raw with the triple threat matches and just how Owens and Cesaro have just kind of gone at it with each other. But because he loses at TakeOver, he wins at SummerSlam. Owens wins and beats Cesaro.
And that's a good point. And Cesaro has, he had his tag title run, and they've been trying to inject him into the singles competitions. And I think he's done so well lately. I think to kind of keep him honest, they let Owens win. And good. And as you said, Owens could be looking at back-to-back losses.
That's a possibility as well.
So, but I think Cesaro loses, but I do not think this is the last we see these two guys go at it.
I agree. This could be a feud for the long haul.
And a match that is really, really started to get people's interest, and I don't know, you wouldn't have expected it a few months ago, is this Divas match. And you've got three teams. You've got PCB, you've got Paige Charlotte and Becky Lynch, you've got Team Bad, and then you've got Team Bella. And really the Divas division was a real snoozer for about the last maybe a year or so. It's just not really been what you would expect from WWE and what they want to do, but they've really not been putting out an amazing product with that. But these NXT girls were getting so over, and then you see them bring them in a few weeks ago, and they've had good matches. The crowd's been chanting. They've had long matches. What do you think happens with this?
Going back to what you said about the Divas division kind of going downhill, AJ Lee came back a few years ago. Of course, she retired, quote unquote, a few months ago, and she really brought it back, I thought. Many of the fans were really into her. She had that good long title reign. Now she's kind of stepped aside. Like you said, it kind of gotten that big flunk for a little bit, the division. But bringing up your girls from NXT and just seeing what Vince has let them do. I mean, we're talking about making Nikki Bella submit in the middle of the ring of the on Raw to the bank statement. We've seen Becky Lynch and Charlotte pick up some impressive wins as well, too. But what I see happening in this match is I got to go with Team Bella. As much as that pains me, I've got to go with Team Bella because they just haven't really they haven't made a statement recently.
Yeah, and for those of you that haven't seen the SmackDown spoilers yet, Brie Bella gets a win tonight on SmackDown. She does, which that could change it, but I don't think that they're ready to let the NXT girls just come in and just take over the division just yet. I think the Bellas still have some time left, and they're gonna win dirty. They are not going to win.
I agree.
They are going to cheat their way to victory.
How do they cheat? Is it the old switch a Bella, or is it something else?
They've done that twice, I think, and it's worked out to their advantage both times. But I think when all is said and done, they just dirty hit. You know, maybe ref's not looking, somebody gets knocked out, and I think that's just old school heel is the way I think that goes.
So which Bella pins? Because I think you need to have Nikki pin someone because she's the champion to make her look strong. I want to go to a limb and say she pins Sasha Banks.
That's a good point. And also, this is an elimination tag match.
That's right.
So when someone gets pinned, they're out. And I think that's where the cheating could really come in, because you can have someone that's already eliminated, reach through the ropes, punch someone. Nikki hits them with her finisher, and then it's over.
Kind of sounds like they're kind of giving us a little bit of treat for Survivor Series. Sounds like the old school Survivor Series eliminations.
It's a Survivor Series match. Make no bones about it. It's a Survivor Series match, and maybe we see this move on to Survivor Series, because that's a few months down the line.
Not too far from it.
We could see this stretch out until then. A couple other tag teams that know they're fond of some Survivor Series matches. We've got 2/3 of the former Shield versus 2/3 of the former Wyatt family. A lot. If you read the dirt sheets, if you check online, you see that a lot of people are predicting or saying that Dean Ambrose could turn on Roman Reigns. I don't know if it happens. I don't know if I surely wouldn't think that Ambrose would join up with the Wyatts. Maybe they use the angle of he's sick of being in Roman's shadow, and really you've got 3 guys I think that are on the top right now. You got Rollins with the title. You've got Brock Lesnar, who is booked to be the beast, literally. And you hate this, but Cena's always there. Cena's always there. But really, in the title picture, people have talked about Roman Reigns, for a long time, and he won Royal Rumble and was not well received. He got booed off. The Rock couldn't even save him.
The rough Philly crowd.
It was rough, but for Reigns and Ambrose are right there. They are right there, and you're just waiting on them to break through. Ambrose has had some moments where, when he pinned Rollins at where was
it Hell in a Cell?
No. Oh, gosh. But he pinned Rollins at the pay-per-view, and the ref waved it off. It was the dusty finish. But it looked like he could do no wrong at certain times, and he stole the title, ran off with it. It was some interesting stuff. But do you think that he turns on Reigns?
Full one on me. I haven't been reading the dirt sheets
on
that.
Okay.
So that's new to me. It kind of influences my pick a little bit, but I have 2 possible theories going into this. I see, number 1, the Shield getting momentum and about to win, and then all of a sudden here comes Eric Rowan. Even though he's been injured, he comes out, he helps his family. There's some type of celebration, and the Wyatts are, they're booking it to where maybe they get the tag team of Harper and Rowan back. I don't know how quick Rowan is to recover, but I know he's been recovering well. But I went out on a limb before hearing this dirt sheet story and picked the Shield, just because I feel like that out of the 2, Roman Reigns, we've seen who he's beaten. We've seen who he's gone through pretty much. Dean Ambrose still, to me, you may disagree with this, hasn't gotten that signature win since he's been in the Shield. And I would like to see him win at SummerSlam just to build some momentum for him, because if you're trying to build him as a future star and he's not getting any quality wins and he continues to lose, then you're going to have a harder time making him be a believer as a future main event, even though he's got a great fan base right now.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. However, and I think we've agreed on every match so far, but I think the Wyatts win it, and I think Harper. I don't think we see the Ambrose heel turn. I don't think we see that. I think he's just too hot right now to really mess with him. He's as the loose cannon, as the Brian Pillman, as the Roddy Piper, as that kind of guy. I think he's just the perfect anti-hero, and they keep him like that. They keep him going in that direction, but I think Harper shows back up and the Wyatts get the win. So that'll be when we're keeping score. We'll have to come back to this one.
Definitely.
And a match that I am extremely excited about, and I know. Did you see Ziggler come back on Monday night?
I did. I saw a replay of it.
Okay, well, my wife was laying in bed, and she's pregnant, and she's tired at the time that this happened. But when Ziggler's music hit, I lost my mind just because I'm a child at heart, guys. I'm a child at heart. Not got to see him. He's been injured, but he's been shooting a movie. Don't let he's been shooting a movie, but they've had him written off the show, and he showed back up and really cleared the ring, and you got to see him. A lot. Ziggler is known for selling so well, and a lot of times you see him get hit, and he's just out, and you don't really get to see him just really manhandle somebody. But they let him really take it to Rusev, and before you even say anything, I'm just predicting Ziggler all the way, and that is purely because I'm a fanboy. Purely because I'm a fanboy, but I think Ziggler, he's just due. He's just due. And when he at Survivor Series last year, when he went through the Authority, and when he single-handed, I think he beat 3 of them. 3 in a row to win. You just thought, man, his time is coming. He already had the big gold belt. But you almost were thinking it is Ziggler's time to really shine as a singles competitor in WWE, but it just never happened. It never happened. He still was. They fired him for a while, They've TV fired him for a while, and he just never gained that momentum when I felt that he was on top of the world at that time. What do you think happens with this one?
Rusev and Summer Rae have gotten way too much advantage and too many little jokes and all this and that on Lana. So this may surprise you, but I'm going with your boy Ziggler.
I thought
for
sure you'd go with Rusev.
This was a tough one to think about. I mean, both of them are in the same situation with Dean Ambrose and Cesaro and Kevin Owens, but Ziggler coming back from a movie and the way they built it up to where they sent him out with the injury on Raw, he wins.
He went, and really, both of these guys are also kind of guys that can't really, like with Owens and Cesaro, they really don't need to lose a match. Ziggler coming back, and he's lost a handful. Sheamus got the best of him. And Rusev, for a while there, he was just a monster. Nobody beat him. But then
WrestleMania.
LOL Cena wins. He got it. And he's jobbed a few matches non-pay-per-view. So, I mean, it's interesting to see what they do with this, but I think Ziggler wins because Rusev is going to be, he's going to be Rusev. They can always, he's been running through Mark Henry. He's been running through the big guys. I think they can, Jack Swagger, consistently. I don't know if Jack Swagger's ever beat him yet, but I think Ziggler wins that. And a match that I'm really excited about is this 8-man tag team, 4 tag teams going at it. But the way I see it, there are only 2 possible tag teams that can come out of this winning, and that's Primetime Players retain or New Day gets the title back. I don't think the Lucha Dragons or Los Matadores. I don't think that it's their time to run with the titles. Lucha Dragons had the titles in NXT and held them well, and I think they can do good work. But I still think it has to be one of the other 2. and I'll let you go first on this one.
Well,
You probably know what I'm going to say. But
Los Matadores, sorry, tongue twisted there. They once held the belts. A lot of people may have forgotten, but they were Epico and Primo. Sorry, spoiler. Hope I didn't ruin anybody there, but they of their fandom of those guys. But I agree with you. I think it's between the primetime players and New Day. And guess what, Nathan? It's a New Day gets the belts, baby.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear from you. I thought they kind of lost the titles really quick. I don't think they held the titles as long as they should. Primetime players are doing great, but I think that they can really build this feud between the two of them, and they might swap the titles, but I think the New Day get it, and obviously they're going to cheat. I don't know. They freebird rule it. I don't know what they do, but I'm expecting Xavier Woods to be on the outside looking in, and then cheat at the very last minute, and they get to win. But I like New Day. I couldn't stand them for a while, but they've grown on me. They're funny. Next title match, we got a 3-way for the Intercontinental title with Big Show, Ryback, and The Miz. And I think with the Intercontinental title, the way it's been swapped around so much, I think Ryback has to retain it. Just build some confidence around him to build that belt up a little bit. I think you could see Big Show or Miz maybe get in the mix, but I think Ryback retains. What do you?
Yeah, because he's been injured. He's been on the shelf. He's not really had a chance to showcase what he can do with the belt. Of course, we all know originally that was going to go to Daniel Bryan, but sadly his injuries he had to vacate the title as well, just like he did with the WWE title. But I believe Ryback definitely retains. He's got to build some momentum up, and I feel like he's lost a step. So giving him this chance to have the belt could possibly show whether or not he could be a world champ one day.
And again, if you guys don't know what happens on SmackDown tonight, and if you don't want to know, Anthony, close your ears. Ryback and Big Show fight to a count-out tonight. Ryback will clotheslines him outside the ring, and they go to a count-out. So by that, you could see them fighting it out, and maybe Miz comes in and steals it. But I think Ryback retains. The last and the last title match on the card is John Cena versus Seth Rollins, and I think it's going to be a good match. And you've also got, which obviously wasn't planned, the built-in nose break. Rollins broke Cena's nose, and he's been rubbing that in Cena's face, no pun intended, consistently for the last few weeks. And this will be Cena's first match back, I believe, and
that's correct.
And it'll be a good match. And I don't know where it's going to go. I have ideas where it's going to go. I think if Sheamus is going to cash in, if that does happen, I could see Cena winning and then getting cashed in on. Just because I think Sheamus will cash in on a good guy. That's the only reason I say that. But Rollins is just so hot. He's the heel champion that can lose any night, but he never loses. He never loses. It takes help. He'll run off. He'll do whatever, but he just doesn't drop that belt when the title is on the line. And I'll go ahead and say that I think Rollins retains the title. What do you think?
Yes. I'm amazed at how far we're in agreement with all of these, because sometimes we're a little disagreements.
I know you were expecting me to say Cena.
But Rollins for sure, because there's so many angles you can go with it. Cena's had it 15 times, the belt. And if he's going to tie Ric Flair, possibly surpass him, I don't think you have Cena win it and then have Sheamus cash in and it kind of be, oh, well, he tied Ric Flair and then just kind of throw it by the wayside. I think if he's ever going to tie Flair, they might do some type of celebration, who knows, on Raw or a pay-per-view. But I believe Rollins retains. My only thing with him picking that is, what does he do with the U.S. title? Do they go all Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 6, and put the belt up in a tournament later on, or does Seth keep them both? You know, so that's my even with picking Seth, just what is the future of the U.S. title?
Oh, no doubt, and it could be the end of the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. You know, maybe Rollins has his own U.S. Open Challenge, and he just lets somebody beat him that he wants to give the title to. You never know. Maybe a finger poke of doom. Just kidding. That's not going to happen. But I think it'll be a good match. One you mentioned John Cena's 15-time world champion. Also, an argument against that is if you're a member of the internet wrestling community, no one wants John Cena to tie Ric Flair. No one wants him to do it. And maybe him losing it immediately kind of softens that blow. You know what I mean? There's not as much to talk about. People are going to boo him every week regardless. They're going to boo him or they're going to cheer him, but they're going to be there every week. But it could lessen that. But he's also, and this is just me being a complete fanboy, they've got a John Cena shirt out now. They just released it says 15 times. And I don't see why they would give him a new shirt that says 15 times and then he loses the title a week or two later. That's me overthinking it, probably. That's definitely me overthinking it. But it's an option. It's something to think about, and it's the beauty of wrestling and everything that it is, because you don't know what's going to happen. And I'm sorry if there's any kids out there that didn't know it was fake before we started talking. It is fake. It is fake. We are talking about a TV show here that is scripted, but you just never know what's going to happen. And when you have things happen in wrestling, the Montreal Screwjob or CM Punk's pipe bomb, and you almost watch it and you think, is this fake? Is this real? I don't know, because the lines get blurred so much. And but that being said, I think it's cut and dry this Sunday night. Rollins maybe hits him in the nose, hits Cena in the nose again. Maybe he wins clean. You never know. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I'm expecting him to keep with the theme. He wins dirty.
Which hitting him in the nose isn't exactly clean with a broken nose.
True.
But it is what it is. But the match that everyone is talking about, match that we didn't really expect because we don't see Undertaker do anything that doesn't involve WrestleMania, but is Brock Lesnar and Undertaker Part 2. After the streak's been stopped, Taker is back for more. And interesting enough, I don't know if they're kind of building him to be the bad guy, but he's came in twice and went low on Brock and hit him between the legs. And it's interesting to kind of see it happen. Maybe Taker's the bad guy. Brock is really getting over, though. People they see him show up and they see him just cause all this destruction and destroy vehicles and just do whatever he wants. And it's really interesting to see how he's just grown on people after Seth cashed in on him and won the title. But I'm really torn about this one, because if Brock won the first round, the almost too obvious is Taker wins in the rematch, and then at WrestleMania they have the rubber match, and we see what happens on the third time around. But it's almost too obvious. It's almost too obvious, and you could be looking at another Brock Lesnar clean win here, and that's what I'm leaning towards, and that's what I'm guessing. So that's lock it in. Lock it in. That's my prediction. What do you think?
We've got two disagreements.
Oh, here we go.
Taker, just with as many years as he has served in WWE since 1990 and has been there, and like you said, we don't want to see him at WrestleMania now, but he gets Brock. Maybe it's dirty. Maybe it's low blow. Maybe they are trying to make Taker heel. The only thing I don't want to see is a third match between these two, because we saw the one at WrestleMania 30, and literally Taker was very slow and Brock destroyed him. And I know that was booking, partly, but still, I think that would happen in real life as well too. Brock is just unstoppable right now. He is, and his reaction, the only part I got to see of Raw the other night, of course, they were in Minnesota. I get it, hometown and everything,
yeah.
but that pop that he got when he came out of the back reminded me of Triple H at MSG in 2002 when he came back from his injury. I hadn't seen a pop that loud in wrestling in a long time, maybe since CM Punk won the WWE World Heavyweight title at Money in the Bank in 2011 in his own hometown of Chicago. But I'm going with the Taker, mark it down, over Brock Lesnar.
I'm going to be upset because I was thinking Taker before, but I thought myself out of it. And if you get it right, I'm going to be heavily upset. And I think that was the biggest pop since Ziggler earlier in the night. I'm sorry. But that is the entire card. And I want to ask you. We've been tossing these fantasy bookings around. What is it? Give me at least one, just one aspect of this that you would like to book, and how you would do things that WWE probably won't do it, or maybe you're just a fan and you want to do it one way. Give me something. How Anthony Bersalia, if you were Vince McMahon, how would you go about this?
We're going to start earlier, actually a day before. In NXT, Blake and Murphy lose the belts. So let's fast forward to SummerSlam. Here comes out the Lucha Dragons. Here comes New Day. Here comes Primetime Players. But there's no Los Matadores. They're not there. They're gone. And so the match starts. And they're beating up on each other. And get this, it's an elimination match. Hey, you've already got one on the card. Why not have another one? Tag team elimination match. You have Cole and JBL and Byron Saxton saying, they're asking, where's Los Matadores? Where are they? Where are they? They're still not there. Maybe 10 minutes go through. Primetime Players have just eliminated the Lucha Dragons, so it's down the New Day and the Primetime Players. So they're beating each other up. They're beating each other up. Here it comes. All of a sudden, as the Primetime Players beat the New Day, the lights go out. And they're thinking that they've got it won. The lights are out. Miss Alexis Bliss shows us her beauty on the ring apron, gets up there, and as the Primetime Players are thinking they've won, she's all talking smack to them and everything and all this and that, and then all of a sudden they act like they're going to hit her, but they don't, and she points to the back. Or they're in the ring, and on the other side of the ring is Blake and Murphy. They have taken the Matador's place, and then they just start hounding on the Primetime Players. They beat them, couple near falls. Primetime Players get some revenge. They do this, they do that, and then Blake and Murphy do their little NXT tricks that they do to get some great heat. And then after a little distraction from Alexis Bliss, we see Blake and Murphy pull it out of the air, and they beat the Primetime Players and become your new WWE Tag Team Champions. Blake and Murphy. That's how I would rebook this SummerSlam, because they're the greatest heels in the business right now as far as tag teams are concerned. And what a statement it would make. You've got TakeOver, you've got the Divas coming up, you've got Owens. Why not bring a special tag team from NXT up? And that's what I would do with this SummerSlam card.
And I can guarantee you that won't happen, but it'd be nice. I thought you were going to say that Blake and Murphy show up with the purple headbands on and pretend to be Los Matadores and then win the title and take them off.
That's not a bad idea.
You never know. That if you're listening, Vince, that's my idea. That's my idea. But
what about you, man?
Mine is something that can actually happen, and I've already told Anthony. But I think, imagine if John Cena recovers from this. He's had this surgery on his nose, and he comes back, and you see all the NBA players, when they break their nose, they come back with those plastic see-through masks.
Rip Hamilton.
A la Rip Hamilton. And John Cena wrestles his way to victory in the match with the silver face mask, the see-through face mask. He wins it. You can't see him. Wins the championship, and then Sheamus comes in with a kick right through that mask, right through the mask, cashes in, walks out the champ. And I think that, you never know, it could happen. It could happen. I don't know that the mask will happen. I don't know if the mask will happen. We'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. 4 hours. It should be a good show, and hopefully plenty of rivalries are spawned and born. Do we see a Sting appearance? That's also been in the dirt sheets because he's in New York this week.
Possibly. Good possibility. I think so. Don't forget Stone Cold's going to be there SummerSlam weekend as well.
Absolutely. So, and a lot of people talk Sting Taker for WrestleMania. A lot of people talk Undertaker or talk Brock Austin for Mania. Maybe the ball starts rolling in those directions. Maybe Sting gets involved in the Taker Brock match. You know, who knows? I don't think Brock needs Sting's help, but you know that could be what starts that. I don't see them bringing in Sting as a bad guy, but if he's wrestling Taker, I don't know what you do with that. The face of which Taker's been a bad guy. Taker's been a good guy. You never know what they do with it, but I don't know. I don't think we do, but we'll see what happens. I didn't think we'd see him at Survivor Series either.
If Sting's at WrestleMania next year, he needs a win. Give him his WrestleMania win. I don't care if he's only wrestled one match and now doing video games and things like that and toy line and DVDs. Give Sting his win. He deserves it. I mean, if you don't want to book him against Taker, book him against someone and give him his WrestleMania win. He deserves it, I believe.
Oh, he deserves it. I mean, he's the one holdout from WCW that you just wanted to see him. You just wanted to see him get in the mix with WWE, but it just never happened. And he did well for himself in TNA. I mean, yeah, he did well for himself over there. But Anthony was with me at WrestleMania this year when Sting lost. I was upset. My heart was broken. My heart was broken. And when he shook Triple H's hand, it was gut wrenching for me. But speaking of WCW, which a little bit of WWE, WWF too, but more famously for me, WCW, we have a special guest next week on the podcast, the Total Package, Lex Luger. And I'm excited to talk to him. He's going to be in Williamsburg and discussing his faith at a church event, and I'm going to meet him at the church. We're going to talk a little bit. Anthony, I might have to count on you for it because my wife could go any minute, guys. I could be a dad at any minute, so I might have to just send you. We never know. We never know. Nikita Koloff is going to be there. Hopefully, we can sit down and talk with him a little bit too. But I'm really looking forward to talking to Lex because Anthony knows I am a big WCW guy. I mean, I remember the thing so vividly, and I barely remember anything of WWF through the Attitude Era just because I would always watch WCW, and then that was back when we had VCRs, and I would tape WWF and I would watch it later, but I'd fast forward it. And you always had Eric Bischoff telling you what was going to happen anyway, so it wasn't that big a deal. But I'm looking forward to it. I know Anthony's excited about Lex Luger as well. But
and how can we forget one of your real quick WCW favorite moments? Mr. Diamond Dallas Page himself as La Parka, executing that diamond cutter on Randy Savage in that mask, taking that sucker off and pinning him 1, 2, 3.
And I know Anthony's making fun of me right now because I was telling him about this the other day when Diamond Dallas Page pretended to be La Parka and got a win over the NWO, and everybody thought it was awesome that La Parka got a win over the NWO for a second until you realized that Diamond Dallas Page was the one that did the diamond cutter in the La Parka mask. Well, I, as a child, just lost my mind. I went running through the house and told my dad, "Did you see that? Yeah, it was awesome." And the next day at school, that was before you could get on the internet and see what everything was going on, see what all had happened and what everyone was talking about. Next day at school, I tell all my friends, "Did you see La Parka hit the diamond cutter last night?" And they all just, "What are you talking about? It wasn't La Parka." And I didn't know until the next day. Funny stuff. But I am looking forward to it. We'll have special guest Shane Smith from over there in the weather department. You guys can't see the weather department, but that's where it is, I promise. Shane Smith he'll be talking a little bit about SummerSlam with us, and should be a good show. thank you guys for listening. Wave to your mom, Anthony.
See you.